This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. We are back. Yes. I am so elated and happy to address you today. One, I'm alive. Two, you're alive. And here we are. We get to talk about some interesting things. And, say what you will about our times, but they are not boring, not at all. So I'm going to do a few quick things here on my iPad that Mama Otter gave me. I'm going to try and get us in real quick on Facebook. And we got Dan in the back today. He's hammering down, anchoring the show. So he's going to keep me updated on whatever might come in on the others. But I'm going to try and make sure that we have access to as many of the comments and stuff that we're going to hopefully get tonight if we get ourselves a good conversation going with everybody that wants to join in, because that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. So now I'm on the Bitcoin Otter feed here. Going to go down on the there we go. Corinne's up there. Good to see you. Just saw you a little while ago. The Rinster's up on Bitcoin Otter, and then we're going to come up on the Christopher Ott side of the house here, and make sure that we got everything copacetic on this feed also. So let's see. We are out here, and go widescreen. Go wide, young man. And there we go. Okay, so we got Sue. Sue's up. Good to see you, Sue. Dad, if you're watching with Sue, hello. I love you, Dad. So we're going to talk about some things here. And as usual, we're going to take a bit of a barometer check. I just use the word barometer because it sounds good. I don't really have any idea what it measures, other than pressure, I think, something like that. But I digress. So gold today, ladies and gentlemen, is going for $2,437 an ounce, okay? A little word on gold. It took a hit when the stock market took a hit. What does that mean? This is me. You don't have to believe me, but I've been looking at these things for a while now, and what that does to me is it confirms that the gold and silver markets are manipulated. Why do I say that? What evidence can I use to back it? Well, I'm not going to be able to do it here, but if you were to take a historic look or examination on the gold and silver precious metals markets, what I believe that you would see if you were to look at it for a long enough time period is that when the stock market does poorly, gold and silver is desired by those of us who understand what money really is. So you'll see a bump in the price of gold and silver. Well, if the market's manipulated, well, and especially now, I mean, they really have their fingers on the scales. So we're seeing I guess you would say a sympathetic reaction from gold and silver and Bitcoin also. We'll get into that in a minute. But what we're seeing is a downward tick with the stock market, which is normally opposite of what I've observed. I'm no expert here, and what I tell you, of course, is not financial advice. It's not by any means. I mean, it might be better than something you watch on Fox or CNN, surely. But I don't wear a suit. I do wear excellent T-shirts, though, as you can see. Don't wear a suit, though, so I'm not quite equipped to tell you what to do with your money. That's your job. I'm just here to maybe give you a different perspective on things. So as we go forward, silver, and again, it's following gold, $27.75 earlier today, an ounce of silver, going down, backtracking from that rise above 30 an ounce, right? A lot of us thought that, well, that was going to set the floor. Well, no, the usual suspects are not happy with that floor. They're going to manipulate it a bit further down. But do not fear. This is just accumulation time, ladies and gents. If you really do want to explore alternative means of keeping you and your family financially secure, by all means, explore silver, okay? It is way, way lower than its true value. I know you don't want to take my word for it, but I'll tell you what, I've been looking at this for a while. Get other opinions too. But at the same time, keep your mind open to the fact that these markets are being manipulated. Bitcoin, $59,500. Now, if you've been paying attention, and sometimes we are and sometimes we're not, you will know that we have had this last week a dip. It maybe for a moment or two went below 50,000 per Bitcoin. Not sure if it, I don't think it stayed there. Honestly, I don't think it stayed there. Briefly dipped and then started, a slow crawl back upward. And now again, it's almost up to 60. This is me again, the non-suited otter, not a financial advisor by any means. But when you see these dips, if you have any money that you don't have to use to pay the rent, you don't have to use to pay the car note, maybe think about, buying a little bit of Bitcoin for yourself. $10, $20, $50, whatever fits you, man. You do you, right? That's what it's all about. You do you. I don't sell anything here. Yes, I've had people on for promotion, and I really enjoy seeing what other people have going on in their life because they're going to help somebody out in some way or form. But I'm not here to sell you anything, much least of which would be advice. What I would like you to do, if you want to do anything at all as a result of listening to the show, is maybe consider the perspective I'm coming from. That's it. No mas. That's it. So the average mortgage rate, there's a bit of good news here. It's below 7, right? It's still ugly at 6.8 for a 30-year, but down to 6.25 for a 15-year rate. Okay. Now these numbers are they're going to align a little bit better, I think, prior to the 4-year election cycle. I think we're coming into that time period where they're going to do whatever it takes, all assets deployed, if you will, to get their guy or gal or whomever, right? Who knows nowadays? Because, I'm not a biologist, right? But whatever they want to, shoehorn, whatever candidate they want to shoehorn in, and we'll get into that later too, is going to be pretty well propped up by numbers, and we'll see what happens with that. So what I would like to do before we go into the articles about Bitcoin and current events, I want to discuss something that the usual suspects obviously do not want to discuss. Well, what is that, Otter? Well, that is the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I consider him President Donald Trump. So an assassination attempt that, for all intents and purposes, it has been rat-holed. The mainstream media doesn't showcase anything. They're pushing their clown, as usual. And what we're not seeing, okay, is what I believe to be due diligence. How do I mean that? Well, if any incident of this magnitude, literally, we would probably the mainstream media would probably cover the assassination attempt of a foreign dignitary based on our soil, away from our soil, whatever, for a longer period of time and in a deeper depth than they've covered the Donald Trump assassination attempt, okay? For many different reasons. But the biggest reason is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want you to know the truth. What is the truth? Well, I'll tell you, sitting here in McAllen, Texas, I can't tell you the exact truth. What I can tell you is, do not believe the mainstream media. That's going to be real easy. Why? Because they're not even reporting on it anymore, right? For those of you that don't see things the way I do, I'll just go by the official moniker of Donald Trump, a former president, okay? I won't even use the moniker that I have become accustomed to, which is, President Donald Trump, right? And I believe him to be so to this day. But that's me. That's me, right? Now, what I'm saying is that this subject, a very important subject, okay, is not being covered because it's being covered up. Yes, this is what I believe. I don't believe the official account, just like 9/11, just like Oklahoma City, just like Sandy Hook, just like the Boston bombing, just like all these other events, okay? I won't go into it. I don't have $1 billion some dollars like Alex Jones, to be shelling out money to people who decide that they don't want anybody to learn the truth. I don't have that kind of money, and I don't want to get into details. So what I'll say is this. Hit me up on bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you on sources and so forth if you want to dig in a little bit deeper. If not, that's fine too. What I'm saying is this. We don't know the story. We don't know the shot. I guess that's and I'm lacking the word here. I'm rolling here, but I'm lacking the word about what it was a coincidence, a trick of the tongue that I said shot. So supposedly the official story has 8 shots coming from a guy named Crooks, a 20-year-old, by the way, a 20-year-old that supposedly masterminded this whole thing, right? Breached Secret Service security, breached local police and other federal law enforcement agencies' security sufficiently enough to get 8 shots off, okay, on whatever you want to call the title of Donald Trump. I call him president. And the fact of the matter is this. It's not being investigated. And if it is being investigated, I believe personally that the lead investigating agency, in this case the FBI, is not investigating at all because they know exactly what happened and they're in charge of the cover-up. My opinion. Sue me if you'd like. Do whatever you want. This is my opinion. We're still up so far, so good. I don't know about YouTube, but we haven't been shut down at all yet. I don't know, and maybe we will. And on that news, a few days ago, Truth Social came out saying that, and I think I put a post on my Facebook accounts. Truth Social came out saying that we now have the opportunity to, meaning the Bitcoin Otter Show and anything you want to do, have the opportunity to live stream in any format on Truth Social. So I'm confident that they, just like Rumble, are not going to censor. Okay, I'm going to get into this a little bit further down the line here in our show, but suffice it to say that good things are on the horizon as far as the censorship war goes. So going back into the format, this is from Bitcoin.com. I chose this article because it touches on a few different fronts. Bitcoin.com reports that Zimbabwe is looking to unveil de-dollarization roadmap, says government official. Now, I assume that's a Zimbabwe government official. The Zimbabwean cabinet has approved a de-dollarization roadmap. What does that mean? They're getting off of and outside of the Federal Reserve. Yeah, that's dangerous. Ask Gaddafi, ask Hussein, ask a lot of different people. Not Hussein Obama. That's Saddam Hussein. Ask them. And well, no, you can't. You can't because they got bumped off. So, not to say they were nice guys. I'm just saying they tried to get away from the Federal Reserve and it didn't work out for them at all. So, according to the Bitcoin.com article, modalities to operationalize the ZIG currency as legal tender for use in the economy. Officials have set early 2026 as the new deadline for making the ZIG the country's sole currency. The central bank, those evil ones, those are my words, not in the article here, is expected to strengthen the mandatory licensing requirements. Of course, they're going to strengthen requirements, which compel business operators to have a bank account and a point of sale device. Wow, interesting. Let's keep an eye on that. And what the article doesn't say, but since it came out on Bitcoin.com, there's probably somewhere, somehow, some way, a crypto parallel system going on there too. It's just my guess, right? The other one, this is also from Bitcoin.com. El Salvador and IMF, International Monetary Fund, for those of you who don't know what globalists do with money, advanced talks on Bitcoin risk mitigation and economic reforms. Remember, El Salvador is the first nation that I'm aware of that is actually using their natural resources to mine Bitcoin. So they have gotten off of the teat of the Federal Reserve. And in my opinion, as I've vocalized, and said many times on this show, is that they've had some help. You decide where you think that help might have come from, because Mr. Bukele, President Bukele, one of my favorite world leaders, has not been yet assassinated. Thank God, right? So thank God he hasn't followed the way of the other leaders that have gotten off of the Federal Reserve, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank teat. The IMF stated that both parties agree on the need for enhanced transparency, which is what blockchain is, ladies and gents. If they really wanted, IMF really wanted enhanced technology, or transparency rather, they would embrace Bitcoin, but they don't want transparency. How do I know they don't want transparency? Good question. Glad you asked that. It's because since the inception in 1913 of the Federal Reserve, there have been a total of a whopping number of 0 audits on the Federal Reserve. The privately owned Federal Reserve has been audited 0 times. So the American public has gotten 0 transparency from that thieving, conniving, robbing organization. Yes, I said it. I'll say it again. They're thieves. CoinDesk reports that XRP jumped 17%, beating Bitcoin gains as Ripple SEC case ends. If you're not familiar with XRP, I'll give you a real quick nutshell crash course. XRP is, in the opinion of many, slated to become the railway for payments on the new central bank digital currencies that will be coming out internationally. And it is undergoing, as always, troubles, pains from the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, right? It's headed up by a usual suspect member, Gary Gensler. And they are just giving Ripple Labs, the creator of XRP, a beating about the head and shoulders in the courtrooms, basically wanting to stifle their ability to generate a product that the world can use, which they've already done. So what are they going to do? They're going to stifle our ability to take advantage of a great investment opportunity, in my humble opinion. So XRP surged 17% as this was done here earlier today at 4:26, as I was doing show prep. It was 60 cents, almost 61 cents XRP, a coin, a token. If you need help learning how, bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com, and I will show you if you desire how to buy that. I will, I'm not selling you anything. This led to a jump in its price from 50 cents to 65 cents and a significant increase in trading volumes. The judge ordered Ripple to pay $120 million, $125 million in civil penalties. They did nothing wrong, but anyway, they got to pay penalties because, well, they got to be shown a lesson. And they agreed to an injunction against future security laws violations, which change and are very much subjective to the usual suspects. That's just, the SEC, right? Owned by the usual suspects. The same SEC that has a cousin, the futures markets regulators who do nothing about a rig market. My opinion. Take it or leave it. Zero Hedge. I effing told them. Enraged Butler cop on body cam. Saw this today. This is on Zero Hedge, guys. Check it out. I effing told them, enraged Butler cop said on his body cam as he talks to another police officer, and he says that he told Secret Service to cover the warehouse roof used by shooter. Okay? They agreed, it says. And this is on his body cam, right? So it's not just something that, afterwards he said, to news outlets or whatever. Oh, news outlets. What news outlet is actually covering this besides the Bitcoin Otter show? Anyway, body cam footage from local Pennsylvania police reveal that in the moments after last month's attempted assassination of Donald Trump, an officer says he told the Secret Service to cover the warehouse used by shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks. This is a side note, but of course he has a middle name because he's a shooter. And if you recognize the formula of the usual suspects, there's always going to be a middle name there. I suspect that if somebody doesn't, like me, have a middle name, they'll make one up. National Guard disputes Waltz's military bio. CNN calls out absolutely false claim over deployment. Wow. Interesting that CNN would actually call out this person's, this guy, Tim Waltz, I guess. He waltzed in. Yeah. He waltzed in under the skirts of Kamala. Now, I don't mean that literally, everyone. I could go on, but I won't. I just won't. It's too easy. Even that one oh, wow, I better stop. National Guard disputes Waltz's military bio. So I'm hearing a lot of flack from many different places, and this, again, is Zero Hedge. But basically, this guy's reported to be all over some stolen valor, basically saying he did things that he didn't do in the military. I'm not certain on that. But, the guys in his unit seem to be a little bit peeved, and they basically said that originally when he left, when he ditched them, in the words of one of them, when he ditched them, they were all happy because they didn't want this guy around. Now, to my way of thinking, looking at the policies that this guy has voted for and not voted for, he's one of the usual suspects, or a communist sympathizer, or a commie. He could be one of the two. But it surprises me nothing. It doesn't surprise me in the least. However, I guess I'll go off on a little tangent here. I believe him and the current runner for the whatever you want to call Democrats nowadays. There's a lot of names we could use, and I won't go into them. But what they are not for is democracy. That's for sure, unless they run it. But anyway, this woman and this man, I believe, and this is me, again, just my opinion, I believe that they're placeholders. Okay, I don't believe that these two horses are not going to be, they're not going to be in the final run. I just don't believe it. Oh, wow, why? That would be highly irregular, Otter. Well, you know what? That's a good description for Joe's bowels, too. But there's also a very good reason for this high irregularity. I'll tell you what the reason is. They don't follow rules. There are no regulations for these people. They don't care what your laws are. They don't care what laws bind you or me. They don't care because they don't follow them. Okay? Rules for thee, not for me is their mantra. They will do whatever they want to do and whatever they believe will get them closer in the 2024 election. Okay? They know, ladies and gentlemen, by words and actions. They know, and these are fake polls out there. You know that. You got to know that, right? You've been watching for a while, and you don't watch TV if you're watching this. So what's going to happen is they need to get close enough to at least make it look plausible. When other things get added, like, fake ballots, Dominion voting system glitches, things like, that are up and coming, to be seen, to be announced, right? So my opinion is these are placeholders. Let me know in the comments if I'm not seeing too many comments today, but this is a summer and the kids are almost out of school, so I understand completely. If you are watching this at a later date, because, well, hey, you got things to do. I understand completely. Throw in a comment. I come back to these throughout the week, and I will address your comment. Or like it if it's nice, and maybe even not like it. But hey, tough tomatoes, man. This is why I do this show. I want to hear your point of view. So apparently even CNN is calling out this Waltz guy. I don't know. He came out of the woodwork. I don't know. So here's something that's very interesting and touches closely on our show here. Because I think that if we were in UK right now, that I might see the officials, the authorities, the police come in here and arrest me. Why would I think that way? Because I saw a video of a man in UK be arrested. It was an older guy. He had medication and all that. they arrested him in his living room because he made a post on a social media outlet. See, these are the kind of things, ladies and gents, that are going to occur more and more in other countries and are going to be pressed. See, our country has a government that is willing to invade our privacy and cheat us out of our free speech because they collude with social media. Anyway, I'll probably touch on that a little bit later. So, UK authorities now arresting people for posting inaccurate information on social media. Sky News reports, I think that's Australia, that a woman has been arrested by Cheshire police for posting inaccurate information on social media about the attacker who stabbed 3 girls to death in Southport last week. So, another thing that puts to bed the scare tactics that the leftists, communists, socialists, whatever you want to call them, use about gun control is that less people will die with less guns. Complete fabrication. Here in the UK, not here, but in the article, migrants that are coming in, I call them migrants because I don't want to use the better term for them, but migrants that go into invade these European countries, they have a stabbing habit. And a lot of them, not all of them, okay, a lot of them are good people, but many of them also like to stab. And they like to rape. But since we can't even tell what a woman is anymore, how are we expected to protect them? We can't be, right? According to the leftist ideology. I'm not a biologist, so I don't know. You are whatever you want to be today. It's just, you can't be logical. So the 55-year-old woman was arrested near the northern town of Chester, on suspicion of publishing written material to stir up racial hatred and false communications. Wow, that's very serious. Jail that woman, right? She's only 55 years old, and well, there was a January 6th grandma in a wheelchair that they jailed too. So yeah, they know no bounds. Communists, ladies and gents, commies gonna commie. That's just who they are. There's really no reason to get enraged or whatever. They do as they do. Stupid is as stupid does. Commie is as commie does, right? Anyway, Chief Superintendent Alison Ross gave a statement explaining how the post is alleged to have fueled the protests and riots in the UK over the last week. In a term that the Irish like to use, my arse, which she asserts started as a result of malicious and inaccurate communications online. Oh, yeah. So the stabbings had nothing to do with the fact that there was a reaction of the citizenry. It wasn't stabbings at all, says Ms. Ross. Miss Ross, the superintendent. Oh, she has authority. Gravitas, I'll let you know. So Alison Ross says that these online comments, which were malicious and inaccurate in her words, were what fueled this reaction to little girls getting stabbed. Yeah, nothing else. Outrage? No, that couldn't have done it. The fact that, thousands, perhaps millions have invaded Europe now. I mean, millions, all of Europe, right? Thousands in each country. That don't assimilate. They set up their own rules and laws. Don't abide by the ones that are local. Many of them being parasitic to the locals. That could not have, in any way, shape, or form, incited a riotous reaction. Not at all. No, it had to be these malicious and inaccurate communications online. Here's my translation. The usual suspects can launder our tax dollars to fund whatever they want to do. Okay? If you don't think your tax dollars are being laundered, then you're just not paying attention. What we pay is being siphoned off. Call them non-government organizations, NGOs, favorites of the usual suspects that, are just sucking up our tax dollars. And what these NGOs do is whatever the hell these thieves and murderers want them to do. They fund whatever, hire whomever to do their dirty work. We're going to see it, ladies and gents. And I don't want to scare anybody. I'm not into that. I think it's going to be well in hand, and we will not be in the streets. Now, they're going to dress people up to look like me and you, okay? But patriots don't burn down businesses in their neighborhoods, ladies and gentlemen. The usual suspects do that, and they hire knuckleheads to do that, okay? Antifa fascists, those sort. The Patriot Front, okay? A bunch of white guys in khakis. Those fools, those clowns, they're going to be out there doing stuff, okay? Do not be surprised if they have MAGA shirts, MAGA hats, all right? All that stuff. They're going to have it. The regalia, the paraphernalia. And I'll use other words if they come to mind. But the fact of the matter is, it's not going to be you and it's not going to be me, because that's not us. Don't be fooled. So while the usual suspects, government types, politicians, right? They can launder our tax dollars and fund this nonsense, okay? They'll buy banners, flags, tents for the people that are camping outside. And check this out. If you don't believe what I'm saying, just as an exercise, look at the banners they have and the T-shirts and the placards and the tents that they're staying overnight. They're all brand new. They're all brand new, okay? And just like we had in the summer of love, 2020 and 2016, you will, if you pay attention to some social media, you will see that they're flying these people in, they're busing them in, they're doing all they can to get these out-of-town people into a town they want to burn, right? So contrast that eventuality, that fact that the usual suspects can pretty much fund whatever they want to our detriment. We, on the other hand, cannot use social media to point out their lies to an extent, right? I'm doing that right now. I'm doing my part. And that's why I'm here. I think God, again, I'll share this, has called me to be a watchman, okay? I am one of those guys on the wall, the city walls, looking out and saying, hey, guys, check this out. Check this out, man. Look, they're doing stuff over here. Maybe you want to check this out. This might come into the walls. This might have, the stuff in Europe, they're stabbing people. It might come in here. I don't know, maybe they might attack us too. Who knows? But just, take a look. Don't be scared. It's the worst thing. Just be prepared. So we are unable to fight it depending on the situation on social media. Now, of course, Elon Musk seemingly has gotten a grasp on X. I don't know to what degree. I really don't. But because there's still, a ghost in the machine that will censor people. But that's just, that's the way of things. But I'm going to boil it down, and this will be my last subject here. If there's nothing else and no other comments, Dan, do we have any comments on YouTube? Anything like that?
Not seeing anything.
Okay, not seeing anything yet. So again, if you're watching this at your own convenience, which I encourage you to do, please hit me up on bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com, and I'll respond to questions or whatever, and if you want sources and so forth. If not, hit me up on Facebook here. So we got the Bitcoin Otter Facebook. We've got the Christopher Ott Facebook, and we're on KCYP 97.7 FM out of McAllen, Texas. Yes, we are on terrestrial radio. Yes, we are. Thank God Mr. Joe Martinez still has his nonprofit radio show. Okay? So he teaches kids how to do radio. He teaches kids how to make movies, commercials, videos, and then edit them and produce them. Had a great camp this summer. Looking forward to an even bigger one. Hopefully it won't wait a whole another year, but we'll work on that and we'll keep you apprised of the news. So for my last subject that I have prepared here, I want to inform you on what I believe to be the battle lines, because we are, make no mistake, in a war. I believe that at its roots, we are in a spiritual war, good versus evil. Okay? Good will win, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want anybody to be terrified. Leave that to the terrorists. We are the patriots. And this is what I see as the battle lines. That an infiltrated government has leveraged pressure on social media platforms, some of which were arguably, and I'll argue this all day long, the original creations of murky agencies. Yes, I do believe that to be the case. In order to derail public knowledge of their machinations. Okay, they are indeed attempting an all-out oppression of us. Now, I'm not just talking about the United States. I'm talking about internationally. And you can see it all over the world. If you don't believe me, just revisit 2020 pandemic. Okay? Rewind all that. They mandated, they ruled, they regulated, they did all these things contrary to elected governments, some of which, yes, were accomplished through elected officials. Others were not. So, trying to find out who's on here. Back in studio, says Sue. Yes, I am. Oh, all the grandkiddos. Yeah, my grandkids. They're watching too. I don't know if they're still watching. Man, they're lively ones. So, Johnny, Audrey, and Zaya. Love you guys. I love yous. Sorry I was late, guys. But there we go. So, all in all, this is a spiritual war. And it demands our spirits to be lifted. There's only one source of that type of encouragement that I'm aware of. His name is Jesus Christ. I am what they call a Christian. I'm a follower of that person, of that king, who is, in my opinion, and demonstrably so, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He is who I follow and take orders from. Do I break orders? Do I break ranks sometimes? You know what? I'm ashamed to say I do. But he's there to forgive me and bring me back into the fold. And he can do that for you. This is not a sermon by any means, but what I'm telling you can be elaborated upon if you do want elaboration. BitcoinOuter.media@gmail.com. I'll fill you in. Oh man, wonderful, wonderful story that he's done in my life and billions upon billions of other people throughout history. So this spiritual war is going to be won. The annals of history, what I like to call the Bible, and the annals of future, again, the Bible, have told us that the winner is manifest. The winner's God. I want to be on that team. I'm already there. I want you to be on the team with me. So what I would like to do is encourage you. Do what it is you feel you need to do, okay, to rise against the man, if you will, the machine, okay? It's an irony that we in the land of the home of the free, the land of the brave, would be called on yet again to assert the values that America was founded on: freedom, liberty, the pursuit of justice. All these things are casualties in this war, this spiritual war. So what I would ask is pray for America. Pray for all of us that we have clarity to see the issues for what they are and not through a lens or a TV screen, right? So this is what I ask God almost daily. I am remiss from time to time. But what I would like to say, and I'll wrap it up. Well, a little bit over a half an hour. But I'm going to wrap it up with this. When you see inconsistencies in the story, in a spiritual war as we are, go to the source. In this case, my example would be the Bible. If you don't want to do that, then try to make it to the source of the news. In this case, we saw a body cam today. Well, you can see it if you go on Zero Hedge. A body cam of the police officer that went up on the roof and saw who the officials want to tell us is the shooter of President Donald Trump. I don't believe that's the guy. I don't believe anything they say. But he tells us what he did, as he should. Cops are not in charge. Local cops are not in charge on those scenes. The Secret Service is, and it was in the law enforcement community, they call it an excited statement, exclamation. Okay, so that can be used for and against us in any given situation. An excited exuberance, if you will. So he, in that time, told his fellow cop, hey, I told these people, I told the Secret Service that there was a guy up there. No, I don't think he said that. He said that he told them to watch it, to cover it, because he noticed something. You know, cops have that gut feeling, that hunch that, hey, wait a minute, I don't think there's enough people around here surveying the area to cover this roof. And he was right. He was right. He told them. He made them aware. But still, the Secret Service, that government agency, failed. Utterly failed. You and I may differ in whether or not it was incompetence or intention. And I won't get into that here or now. We maybe can get into it at some later date. But the fact of the matter is, they failed. We'll get into that perhaps some other time. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, good will win, evil will lose. Will bad things happen? Yes. Yes, they will. But be on the right side, and you're guaranteed victory. Maybe not in every battle, because God himself told us that it wasn't going to be easy, and that the world, whose system is run by our enemy, is not our friend. But our friend is more powerful than he who is in the world. So he's already beaten it. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, I don't digress, because it is the root of the matter. But I will say this as we sign off. Thank you for watching. God bless you. God bless your families. And God bless America. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. And hit me up if you want sources or conversation. God bless you and yours. And God bless America. Thank you.
This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show
Oh my God, I love you so much.
on 97.7.